Hello everyone and welcome to I think it's 8th Attorney Apologist, or might be Apologist 8th Attorney, I don't know the exact order and I'm not really gonna, I don't think it's that important. I actually did look through what games are in this trilogy before I started. I actually think I played this one on the DS, or just a demo of it, not the actual thing, but so. Also, hello, it's Rabo, welcome to the stream. Wait, why did not mean to go there. Why do the other two have costumes, but not this one? Doesn't matter. I've never played a Phoenix Wright game, but I have seen, like, a couple be played before, though. I'll say that as well. I know the first one I watched get played, and, like, half of whatever one took place in Britain, I think, whatever. So, an artist is gonna get killed, I think? I don't know. Just based on the fact there's art, and it shows a character doing art stuff. I have no idea what's going on. Showdown time. So they're just playing cards. Alright, nothing out of the ordinary. You lose. What's going on? I've never played one of these. Hello, ESK, welcome to the stream. You've seen all the Phoenix Wright games, or now the Apollo games? Yeah, I've just seen some of them. Oh no, a crime happened. Oh well. I wonder who's been killed. I'm testing to see if you can sign up for high school tennis. Hopefully you can, Robbo. Wait, I wasn't reading. Someone hit him hard. How do I turn off auto scroll? Maybe, please. The cop should be here any minute. I didn't realize it was auto scroll. How do I turn that off? Can I turn that off? I'm in your hands, should it come to that. I've also never played a visual novel, so... Okay, no, that was just being autoplayed. Gotcha. April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Country, Defendant Lobby number 3. Panicked, palms sweaty. Spaghetti on my sweater already or something. I don't know the actual word. I can admit I'm nervous. Good morning. I recognize this courtroom. I don't recognize you. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight? Justice, you say? Now I'm having under yellow flashbacks. Wound up, sir. No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial is a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got about 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. What kind of workout is that? It's just like a choir voice? You just, like, screech at the top of your lungs? That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. He does just scream at the top of his lungs. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happened, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. Nah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Hello, hi, welcome to the stream. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. Who is it? Just to prepare players for emergencies, you do not have to take a checkup. Alright. Alright, anyway, my name is Apologistus. Backstory time! If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him, no way. I don't even know who it is yet. Wait, Phoenix? Is that Phoenix Wright? I think I recognize, I've seen this model before and I think this is Phoenix Wright. Whoa! I might be wrong though. Good, morning. Morning, it's all up to you today. This is blind. Yes, but I think I have seen some of the character models before. And, like, that's about it. I think I know this is Phoenix Wright, but I might be mistaken for something else, because I think Phoenix wears a beanie at one point. Medium cardiac, first trial, nervous, medium cardiac arrest. Wait, are you going into that for meeting him? Not Phoenix Wright, that's Phoenix Black. Yes, obviously the black, no, that's gray, so it's Phoenix Gray. Oh well. I think I'm supposed to say something. Rob, whatever. So you're... Fine, I'm fine! Mr. Fine, is it? That name can get fined, you know. I did remember you having an odd name. Well, you have to erase it. They read... Robbo, I see everything. I read the deleted message, but sure, yeah. Are you sure you're okay, I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and he's your friend, so why... You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you, I mean... Wait, why does it say pop on his hat? It's time, shall we? Yes, sir. Name's right, not what. Close enough for a pun. Okay, I need to focus. It was a good GPA to build a few medical things and stuff. Yeah, also, why did... I'm not going to question that, actually. I forgot what I was saying before. Phoenix down? I don't... That's an item, not a character, but sure. First trial, here comes justice. April 20th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. Where's Maya? I don't know. From my understanding, she went back to her village after, like, the first game, or maybe second, I don't know. I didn't really watch much after that, so, not sure. He's retired or something? I don't know. Isn't that guy's name Pain, by the way? Or, no, it's Ouchie, I think. Pain is another character in another game. I watched the Institute. Yeah, the court is now in session. It is Pain. The prosecutor is ready, Your Honor. What voice do I do for this guy? Hold on. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Okay, I'm doing that. The defense is, fine. Ready, Your Honor. I'm going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice. And this is your first trial. Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. I was up screaming all night. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor? I was under the impression that you'd be heading out this case. Wait, I forgot what voice I did for the judge already. That was my intention, yes. However, really tight voice. A defense attorney must always creed to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn? Why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you are the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does it have to be cords of steel? Does he have cords of steel? Never mind. Whatever. Let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. I think it is Phoenix Wright. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. It is! Alright, let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Did he retire? Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be kind to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. To think, I saw you enter this room as fresh attorney, and I see you leaving jail. I think that's the voice I did for him. I've already forgotten. Winston Payne. As little as ever, I see. Sure, you can tell me a story. I'm probably going to be focusing on the game mostly, because it's between reading the game or reading chat, and I can't do both at once. The crime occurred at the Bullshit Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! On the head. Smack! Killed him cold. Question about the restaurant, you say. The defendant, you say he was... the pianist, for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist. This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice, sure. Alright. I think you know I retired from being attorney. Don't spoil it, please, in case I have a chance to play that game sometime. Sorry, but, alright, alright. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. Okay. Actually, no joke, grape juice is one of my favorite juice types. In fact, when it comes to, like, fruit-flavored things, grape is probably my favorite. Just in general. Yet I don't like grapes themselves. So there's that. The court accepts the deadly bottle is deadly bottle added to court record. Alright. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Alright. Ooh, attorney badge. Time of death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. That's caused by a single blow to the forehead. Sub-basement of the Bull Club. There's the bottle. And the guy having a nice nap. And then there's the bottle. Oh, I can examine the bottle. It's 3D. No clues here. I can look for clues on the bottle. Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently, it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. I wonder how well it goes with brochet? I think is that word. The bottle is completely empty. Alright. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right, I've heard that. Use R1 to look at the evidence so far. A bit ahead of ya. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, use R1. Sounds like a time for some hands-on action. I already did. So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant. Just who was this, Sand-Eye Smith fellow? We believe he is a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he has some sort of connection with the defendant. That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at Bershel Bolo Club on the night of the crime. How am I not knowing most of these words already? If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim cited the defendant's piano playing. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skills. At least, not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. Poker. As you can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself! Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basement sort of criminal. You could just play poker for the fun of playing poker without actually gambling, can't you? Just because you're playing poker doesn't mean you're gambling. Objection! It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in a blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again? The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women. That'll be our first order of business here, then. Impressing woman. No, to find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You'll testify to the court about the poker competition held at night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. Also, I would like to say before I go into this, the wine bottle had no blood on it. I don't know if it actually matters, but still. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where you play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. You play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game. And our customers are happy. But in the games where he's a protagonist, he's lame. Honestly, not exactly lame, but I get what you're saying there, Hydro. I know what you mean by he is lame as well at the same time. A pianist who can't play piano. Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Didn't Phoenix Wright beat you on numerous occasions? Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor! My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Time to pull up tutorial panels. In a second at least. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? Why does he actually think there's bullets? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform my cross-examinations many times. Well, you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher in course examination? That'll be fine. I've seen this before. I hope I remember how to do it. No need for help here, sir. I think I got this one covered. I think you'd better do more than think. You know, or you do not. I'm fine. The cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons. Press and present. Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies, lies. Phoenix Wright? As if Phoenix Wright would never lie! And it's up to me to prove it! Didn't he lie several times before in the past games as well? There was a Phoenix Wright game where you had a witch trials and say the defendant being burned at the stake. I've never played that one. Or seen it, actually. The defense may begin the cross-examination. All I know is on the DS version of one of the games, you could physically shout objection into the mic and it would activate the, it would actually make Phoenix say objection. I played the demo for that. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. I'm gonna press everything. You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes. When customers demand it. Play Golden Hour now. So I play them one song, that's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a post just now? The title of pianist is a mask. A respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Fortunist Bowl Club? My it was for the truth. Alright, sure. My real job is to take... Okay, yeah, that goes by every time. Got it. I just wanted to double check. Then it's just customers over at the poker table. Press. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional, after all. A professional poker player. Bah! Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. What? Hello, Joseph. Welcome to the stream. I've played poker for 7 years in that little room. How long was it since the last game, then, apparently? And I've never lost. Once. What? You see why the customers can't come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. What? Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? It is if you cheat! I doubt Phoenix is cheating, though. The room where we play in competition, and there are the club's main attraction. No, I meant to go check that last one. Main attraction, yeah, press. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Bozert Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. The black market? All in the past, things like the black market are only the silver screen nowadays. Can we have a Better Call Saul game? I don't know, I've never actually seen that. I just know he's an attorney of, or prosecutor. I don't know too much about Better Call Saul, actually. I was thinking he played poker and became a god. Ah, yes. RNGesus. Suffice to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. Smoky room. Gambling hooks, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around... Oh, the Phoenix, not Judge. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. What if someone threw the bottle through the window? The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. I said RNGesus. Like RNG, but Jesus at the end. It's a joke. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. Like Phoenix Wright, but the protagonist does more illegal. Oh, okay. He's just an illegal Phoenix Wright. Got it. Alright, play 2 decks of cards. 2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lines scattered on the floor. Precisely, cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we use 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. Oh, that's gonna make it actually sorting them a lot easier. As I recall, in poker you make 5 card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. Time for battle? I am going to be probably focusing on this game more because of the type of content this is. This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that crime occurred. You claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. What's strange? Hello, Joey Smith, welcome to the stream as well. I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime this point against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right, there's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? You gave a clue? I'm guessing that is where it's going to be, but I want to go through everything first. Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press, and I got myself a whole new testimony. Pledge silence regarding the murder, but I will say never touch the murder weapon. Oh! That's the clue. Silence? The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage. And it's your job to turn that around in our favor. Yes. Great, like I didn't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Huh? Wait, something he said did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now what was it? When you figure it out, I suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony. A contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony, but why? Gotta check the court records. Can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press. Right, I got it. I'm fine. Time to listen to that testimony again. Alright, so we went through everything. Did not mean to go hit that button. I want to go to, I think it's the last one. We have silence regarding, I'll never say touch the murder weapon. The wine bottle? Yeah, has Mr. Wright's print. I did not mean to examine it. Presents this button, alright. Opening objection, that's an achievement, really? So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon, this grape juice bottle. Right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice. Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection? No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Oh, he was shouting at the top of his lungs, I see. I thought it was more like a question, but whatever. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case. But what about my cords of steel? We don't need your cords of steel. Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove you did it. They would prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? I know exactly what it means. It means she was holding the bottle inverted, and there can be only one reason for that. Pouring the bottle backhanded, I guess? Not, I know why. Wonder if you could pour a bottle like that now that I'm thinking about it. Yes, to brain someone with a bottle! I've done that in Walking Dead Saints and Sinners before, considering that is a zombie game. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worst. Oh, I see no problem. Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant! Can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? Please say yes. I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now, he invokes the fifth! Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Objection! Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still, that... Really? Wrong place. Well, yes, according to the case file, the murder was reported near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at a diagram of the murder scene, shall we? Oh, a diagram. Alright, then. This actually could help. So I didn't know where the door would be. Oh, and that's why the window works there, because you can see the staircase leading down to the room. Alright. The victim was murdered in a small room. A basement 2 floors down from the ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. My God. Alright, sure. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see, and this is the phone that made the call. Write cell phone out of the court record. Ooh, is Maya's number saved in it? The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so choose, yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he's being uncooperative. There! Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I'd better not waste this. I think the prosecution has told their client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that crime occurred. How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. Oh, indeed. The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. Someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Was it through the window? Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? The power of God and anime, I said yes, sir. Very well, wrong voice. Very well, the prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. Who are you? The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where is the witness? Stand up straight, please, or are you just actually a child and are just short? I surmise that she has been framed by the defense's demonic-looking whore. His hair? So he's a little hair gel. Relax, people. Hair gel feels really annoying. Just makes your hair stiff. I don't like it. Have no fear. Have no fear of any horns pointing your direction. This court will cut them off. Go alert the barber. You are sure? I swear this on my gavel. Please come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you are sure, it is okay. The girl's the murder calling up now. Honestly, she could just be putting up an act, but I don't know. Considering... Oh, wait a minute. I didn't get to read stuff. I thought I'd have time, but no, she just took a picture and cut away the dialogue. I can actually... Here's it. Prosecutor explain the witness's, Alright, hold on. Alright, yeah, alright. Considering she's the only other character so far, it does increase her likelihood knowing that Phoenix is not the murderer. But I'd like to see what she has to say before we come to any conclusions. Are you saying you're the murderer, Joseph? To the crime? Yes! She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be... My name is Olgila Orley. I'm employed as a waitress in Boistery Bull Club restaurant. Then why the camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve Borjay, that is naming restaurant. But I also perform how said other service. I think one of these services is taking the customer's pictures. Ta-da! Like, for example, this one! I wonder what kind of soup that is. Over on the right. That's the defendant. Indeed, on the night of the murder, man in white hat is the one who had gone kaput. Indeed, and that is the victim. You do it again. Order, order. There's quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. It is the same way I drop cold bowls of Basura on laps of customers, casually. The court will casually accept this as new evidence. I need to go look at the court record when I get the chance. Now, witness, where are we at the time of the murder? Alright. We have Phoenix's phone. No clues here. I didn't mean to hit that. Oh, what? Wow, the battery's being held with a piece of tape. Especially because she said, oh, really? I didn't notice that. Alright. I'm still not gonna try doing a Russian... Do I try doing a Russian accent? Oh, it would explain her clothing, because it looks kind of, like it's cold... meant for cold weather, I think. You should just buy a new one. Maybe he can't afford it, or he just doesn't care? Charging port. Let's look at the photo. It looks like there's snow in the basement. Is it winter or something? Hold on. There is like 4 bottles on the bottom left as well. So that's probably going to be important later. Check the call logs on Phoenix's phone. I don't think I can. I don't know how this thing works. How do you... battery must be dead. You helped Jimmy kill... I doubt it. Sure. I was in room. The hideout, we call it. Excuse me? The hideout? It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. It is room where murder took place. Okay, I think she is Russian based on the way she's speaking. What? Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post it by courtroom door later for you. Dada, photos will be numbered, and you will write which ones you want a copy of. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Sadie Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Early, our witness. And she's wearing gloves. Okay then. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well, witness. You'll testify to the court about that night's event. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. Da! The victim, he plays the whole time with his hand on locket and his neck. Can I check the court record still? Alright, what is... Oh, it's just a handkerchief in his pocket. It's red, so I thought it might be cards. Then, last hand is done. But something terrible has happened, Dan. That man flew a victim and is strangling him to death. Strangling? Wasn't the cause of death concussion? Or, like, blunt trauma to the head? Can we now no fingerprints to be left on the murder weapon? Yeah. Why is she holding a bottle of soup? I just noticed that. I mean, I noticed it earlier, I just realized, wait, why is she holding that? Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. Objection! That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice? Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. Phoenix, once again, Phoenix Wright beat you on 7 occasions. Or not 7 occasions, several. These are the poker chips as they lay on the very moment of the crime. The hands and chips. Oh wait, was that Payne that said it? Yeah, I didn't. The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. But then why is the bottle on his side? I can see his leg actually. Never mind. Chips, you say? Yeah, I mean, yes! Imagine that poker is war. Are you back? Welcome back, Cake. Your hands is your army, and the chips are the spoils. I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head at courtroom number 3. Was there an illegal gambling business in the court? I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. You can't put your finger on it? Alright, well don't tell me then, please, if you do figure it out. Just keep it to yourself until I do figure it out, because I want to see if I can figure it out for myself first. Also, 777s, and they both have aces. See, that matches, I guess. Chips will add to the court record. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Let's do the cross-examination, then look at the picture. That night, customer asked me to... Oh wait, you already said that, never mind. So I see. I'm gonna look at the picture first. If only we could see the back of the cards. Also, I'm looking at the background cards, that's not gonna help very much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, 6 red, like 10 blacks. Alright, nothing there. There's a chair at the top for some reason. Present the bottle on the left. Don't spoil it, please. No. I don't know what's... I haven't played it yet. Like, customer asked me to deal cards for a game. Let's start pressing. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? Da! I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Brochure cards, more brochure. It is my work. It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. We've already established that it doesn't affect me, Joseph. Anyway, welcome to your Brochure Bull Club, where brochure is as warm as the waitress. Thank you for not handling out flyers during the cross-examination. Put it in the evidence. Give me the flyer to use as evidence against her. Global flavor with hats on. It's already April. How could it be cold? At Brochure Bull Club, we have pride on a authentic Russian restaurant theme. That probably is why you are Russian, for authenticity, for some reason. Outside the city, it's spring, but inside, always cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going there. When it comes to hot brochure, cold is best seasoning, da. Like the judge in these games? He is great. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on Locket's neck. I definitely want to practice that. His locket. I believe it was good luck charm, da. He gripped it many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and stars. Though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about. I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket? Of course, I knew that! It's probably a pendant shaped like a rocket! That's why she called it that. Oh wait, I missed that part. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. My turn to attack? Absolute 0. You can no longer heal. Probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. Yeah. No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape it is. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding? So, what happened next? Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. This is probably going to be important as well. Something terrible? Eek! The defense will refrain from needless shouting! Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Now, Mr. Riley, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. I trembled with fear. Oh. Right. Alright, anyway. But the defendant would never do such a thing. Stop shouting. Well, now, I can't say I've ever heard the defense try this tactic. If possible, please, refrain from embarrassing me. Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker? Perhaps it's because the defendant had lost game. Yes, a crushing defeat for a man undefeated. As if men like him, winners make sure losers are how the mighty fall. Go ahead, I believe you know... we're wrong, guys. Go ahead, I believe you know what you need to do. Right, sir, leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. Victim Chase Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer... Got you now, Orly. Has to deal cards again. Wrong button. I did not mean to press, I meant to present. Already 8, but yeah. Kill Mario. Just dodge kill. You don't have this isn't constant commands. The slash kill command does not work. Both played with hats on. Yeah, no doubting that. Although his hat isn't really cold protection. There's snow in the background. What do I... Is it because his hand isn't on his neck here? He's not playing, though. Oh, wait, yeah. I've overlooked something severely. Un-op Mario. Do not have the ability to un-op. With age, who knows, male, ultimate time of death. Yeah, how do I present this button again? Just huge shot. Not an operator more. I wasn't ever an operator to begin with. You don't have the ability to use it either, though. Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Actually, I might have. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You don't have access to console commands. You can't un-op. Either way. Normal customer only choke on Bosere. No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? She's good at catching stuff, at least. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. The locket's gone. Or it's just behind that thing we can't see. But I think the locket's gone. Yeah, it's a fact he was hit, Your Honor. Yeah, the locket is gone! Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. You can attack, please be smart. Can you op me? Not... No. Oh, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit! Card photo 2 out of the court record. The locket's missing. Where is it, then? But I've seen it happen! The defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck! Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I caught you in your own lie this time. Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. You gotta say bye earlier? No problem, Cake. If you are leaving, hope you're able to enjoy. If you are not leaving and just said bye, then well, actually, I don't remember what I'm saying. I just hope you, whatever. You said good luck with Apollo, so I hope you enjoy and I'll see you later. Anyway. We're thinking of testimony that troubles me. Very well. Seems we should continue the cross-examination. Such a thing as thinking too much? This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. He said that out loud. Go for it, cards are game. Both players play with hats on. Some with his hand on locket and his neck. Single victim, we hit him with bottle. It's gotta be this picture. Why is the blood flowing backwards, or is that just hair? Oh wait, your last thing, after Triangle Victim hit him with bottle.
Hold it!
You didn't say anything about hitting before. So sorry, I must be forgetting this, Witness, you will take greater care of your testimony. Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. In that case, I've just and see with the autopsy report, I believe. The victim made to strangle his victim, then changed his mind. And chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely. So he strangled him, then hit him. Something's fishy about all this. Like how the bottle's still intact. That's one thing I've been curious about for a while. Go ahead, I believe you know what you need to do. Right, sir, leave it to me. Only 3 people in the room, yeah. Waiting for your attack. Go across your game. Full player, play with hats on. I cast Fireball. You know what? Just cast Fireball. I want to play Phoenix right. What do I do? Wait, did they update the autopsy report? Wrong button. I did not mean to press. I keep pressing instead of viewing the thing. Yep. Thanks for the thing. Death caused by single cerebral hemorrhage resulting from blunt force trauma. They did not update the autopsy. Because they said, like, oh yeah, he started to strangle him, and then they just hit him on the head instead with this grape vial. Which I still don't know how it's upside down. I mean, empty, and survived a hit. Unless it's plastic, but then it wouldn't be able to kill. Actually, I guess if I hit through the hat as well, that would be why there's no blood on it. But still, how it survived. Alright. Result ties his hands around his neck. Hand is done. Single victim hit him with bottle. I am actually confused here. Do I use the attorney badge? No, I know it's not gonna be it. Check the photos. Like, the only thing I can think of is they played with their hats on, but like this might change it if it wasn't for this, not this picture. If it wasn't for this picture here where he has his hat on. Drown him. Go cards to game. Play with his hats on. I think it's gonna be like, I don't know which one it's gonna be, but I think it's gonna be this last photo showing, I think it's gonna be this one. Doing it.
Objection!
Music stopped. I think that's a good sign. You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intently about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on his locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. Ah, we already did that. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we are to believe this witness testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. Locket is gone. Someone must have taken it off, no? Taken it off, wait. Don't you mean? The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Ah. Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Oh, hi, Phoenix. Welcome back. Say... yes? I just noticed this, but... you have something hanging around your neck, don't you? How long has that been there? Oh, you mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again? First off, wait, how long has Phoenix had a daughter for? Cast Thunder Spell? I cast Teleport and Dodge. Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? We confirmed at the time of the arrest, the picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So, if that's his daughter, then that raises one of two questions. One, if he did steal it off the one guy, why did the other guy have it? And two, is that even the same locket? So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Why don't I buy that it's just a coincidence? The reference you cool. Yes, casting Thunderspell on the little child. Oh well. Well now, the results of the board game led to the murder. Perhaps you should hear a bit more about the outcome of this game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost, badly. Miss Orley, you'll testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Though Hydro Mario. 7 Hydro, you're sorry. I catch Hydro and save them, but push them out of the fight. Just for now. If they want to rejoin, they can. Ah! The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips came in two sizes, small and large. When it was winning, it was victim. The last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, the defendant grabbed bottle from table and... smack. Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. How many times have I heard those words? I've done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret it. A common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many court movies. You, the viewer, or as they say. Anyway, Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. I do want to know how many chips are of each type. Are those the usual starting points? Were there any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be... exactly 6. No, 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. The thing is, it took me about the same amount of time to actually do the math myself. So, yeah. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. How much were each one worth? Are chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Of course! Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Doing it. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips. Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block, not a motorcycle cop. Thanks. Now I pressed her, I better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? Nit. As I've been saying before, it was game, not gambling. Hard, perhaps, for a capitalist to understand. Two types of chips, 100 points and 1,000 point chips. 100 and 1,000, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of those small chips, if they... let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 10 big ones. So that is 10 big, 6 small... What would they be? They had 5 each. I forgot how many we had total either. Grab the attack and throw it up. You can't throw a dark blast of energy that goes in every direction, Joseph. I hate to say it. Oh wait, hold on. Switch tabs? Oh, I can view, agent stuff. Alright. I can view agent stuff. Roll 20 to get a critical hit. I use bend luck. I can roll a d4 and add or subtract that d4 to whatever roll I want, essentially. It's a sorcerer ability. It's not money, da. Justice. Sir, don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Does the defendant want the witness to add her testimony? Yes. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness, if you would be so kind. Your honor. You do know one of my D&D characters is literally entirely made out of magic. So what's stopping me from doing the exact same thing you're doing? The ship was worth 100 points, the other kind is 1,000. 2 kinds in all. His winning was... I think it's gonna be... I'm just going for it.
Objection!
You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure. It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten, just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. Big smart man. Alright, thanks, Hyde. In the photo I see small chips and large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course, duh! That's 5,000 points each. You play D&D, you're trying to get it. D&D is really fun. I absolutely love it. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips. And the combined total value of the chips was 7,000. That'd be 10,000 points, right? Let's see if my calculations are correct. Let's see, 3 plus 1, carry the 5. Okay, actually, realistically, what does carry the 5 even mean? I've never understood that. They are, Your Honor, now. Look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. Small ones are 1,000? That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh! In that case, yeah. The big chips are all worth 1,000 points and the small ones are worth 100. And you add them up. How much is it? Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness' testimony. But why? How can this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right, there's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Ship count was wrong, both are right, starting points are wrong. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that would be 3,000 points each, the others worth 100. Yeah. Both are right? Because starting points weren't wrong, the chip count wasn't wrong. Oh, both of the... No, I'm just going with this. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness! Utter madness! Show me that photograph of the chips again. There's 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why? That does make 7,000 points when you add them all up. Wrong, but that's just you. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. I did, because by the time Hydro said anything, I've already done it, yeah. I can see why you would say chip count is wrong, but that question was worded weirdly. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. But wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing! Indeed. The victim did have the larger number of chips still. Did he? I know the next line will fix this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 4,100, 2,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope. Ah! Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points and offended 4,100 points? Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible! My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning! Now, Mr. Orley, you must have known the true value of these chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you? Ah! Ding! She's very good at catching those. Joseph, if you're going to keep making dark fountains, I'll have to start stealing them. Order, order! Here's our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. Must now ask ourselves whether we can trust the witness testimony after. Was it Phoenix? Excuse me? What is it, Mr. Orley? It was Orley. I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, see what, Miss Orley? What do we see? It's time for lies. In the last hand, there was cheat. Cheat? You don't mean trick? I'm having trouble doing his voice without my voice cracking. Wait, do you mean a scam? Oh, the same thing. Yes, there was a cheat in last hand. That's why game ends with chips as they are. Great, just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn for the interesting. Witness, will you please testify to the court? Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. In last hand, both men had full house. Scammer gets scammed, yeah. There's 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. Defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. More dark fountains, the roaring is coming. Alright, seal all dark fountains. Why, wait, I skipped something on accident. Alright. Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than Scripture's tactics. Mr. Gavin? What's a full house? Make more dark fountains? Well, me and Hydra will just keep closing them. Nowadays these days, you don't know your poker. I can't say this bodes well for your case or career. How are we supposed to know the rules for poker? Is this some kind of secret court poker ring? Apollo, if you need to, there's a game after the court session. Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes a 3 of a kind. So, good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. Oh, they both have full houses. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat! The defense may cross-examine the witness. I also, to that Uno reverse spell you're casting, I cast counterspell. Defense may cross-examine the witness. If you did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? Let's send both men a full house. Time to start pressing. Just how hard is it to make a full house anyway? It is quite hard, It is making pair and 3 of a kind at the same time. I guess that's right. Very difficult to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head of the courtroom number 3. Very difficult, but not impossible. Okay, full house, hard. This line of questioning, a waste of time. Card and deck from ace to king. 4 of each card, you say? There's 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is interesting fact that this number 4 comes in number of seasons. Huh, you don't say. And did you know that these cards are numbered 1 through 13? Ace up to 10, then 3 face cards, yeah. Add all the cards in a deck and you get 364 a year. Oh, that's really cool then, actually. Huh, you don't say. Isn't that 1 day short? Oh, leap years? That's why each deck has 2 jokers. Say the second joker stands for the leap year. Oh, alright, that makes sense. Thus you have a perfect representation of year in all decks of cards. Huh, you don't say. We're gonna be in this courtroom for a year if this keeps going like this. Cool lesson about poker, not important to the case. How was it clear? Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. Okay, it's odd that that 1 ace has a symbol on it, but I'm not exactly sure. You're resetting? I rewind time before you reset. That's 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. No, it did not. No, it did not. There's only 4 aces. This is what I need to contradict. And Mr. Wright's too. Obviously, cheating was afoot. Or perhaps I should say, a hand? Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to testimony without Mr. Payne's joke. Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony. Please. Please, Mr. Wright. Right. Doing this. No, I keep hitting X to present as triangle. It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken? But my name... look at this. Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice? Perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness' testimony? This! It's triangle, not X. Mr. Orley, in your testimony you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, but as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Ding! Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. That was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Who's turned this? I have no idea at this point. I'm just trying to figure out who killed who. I missed something. Where's the 5th ace? I see cheating all right, and it's going right here in this courtroom. Choke on your tears. 2 aces in each player's hand. Does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please! It is true, I have seen it! The 5th ace! It was cheating, I swear to you! That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've ever seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts, Mr. Gavin. Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. The cards? Mr. Payne? Yes? The player's hand that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? These cards don't prove cheating is going on. Nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? She said that it was, Phoenix Wright. No, she should have said it was the victim's hand that had 3 aces. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests this time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would. The die attacks back. Very well. Evidence victim's hand. Well, what a... Time's a wasting. Get on, Justice. Aha! Only one of these cards is a blue back. I'm much more of a red guy myself. Blue is so not red, you know? Alright, which one is it? The king? Alright. Yes, sir. If you roll a nat 1 in D&D, then what that means is... Do I have to do this again? But when you roll a nat 1 in D&D, that means the opponent gets an attack instead. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using directions to turn it every which way, and triangle and square to zoom... Oh, I can zoom in and out, that's nice. Give you a better perspective on the case. Alright, let's do this. What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is the different color. There! That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Oh. You messed up. D4 for destroying the stream. No, the stream is... The stream, it cannot be destroyed. Only by my hands. What was that, Mr. Orley? Nate, I really said it. Eek. Your Honor? Mr. Gavin, yes. Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Wait, so you mean he did travel abroad? Did he go to Russia then? This witness, Miss Orley. She's the cheater? Professional, I'd wager. How do you catch that with your eyes closed every time? The stream's turn? Stream uses order and seals away all your attacks and heals itself. Apparently. Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean, of her mistake. Your Honor. Please recall the testimony we just heard. That's impossible. I put that card in Wright's. I think the stream is more of a summon I can use. Kinda. I think that's how we should take the stream as a character. Eco, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shaddy Smith. No! Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly! Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an alteration between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean... The defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley. Are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright wasn't guilty, that means... I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder! Deke! Never happened, the stream died. How did that land perfectly? Well, the stream still seems alive. Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga Orley? You see, the stream has a condition to where as long as I'm alive, it can't end and only I can end it. As I literally have the self-destruct button on hand. Or mouse, whatever. It appears she had lost her consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice, Your Honor, it seems you prevented a new possibility to the court when suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means... Well, we're still able to hear me, that means it's alive. This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it. I held out. I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
Objection!
Right? Mr. Wright. You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think, one of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing? Mr. Wright! Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook. Ridiculous! Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks of the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, 2 decks might get mixed. Use different colors, and they still got mixed up? We used the red deck for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Why? Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. I don't remember that. Whatever, in the end, 1 card got the wrong color into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yes, the cards slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh. It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think these cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? Before? Well, it must happen before the murder. You mean during the game? I wonder. Huh? Why? Think, when you're playing poker, which side of the cards face your opponent? Oh. The back! Not something the poker head of courtroom number 3 would likely to miss. Alright, let me think about it some more. When the card swapped in the deck. Luckily, I have an infinite amount of attempts at this. Perhaps it happened after the murder? What's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of shooting after hands have been shown? That's silly. Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Oh, even when the backs of the cards are a different color. If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Quite true. That would mean the blue cards in question were swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another? Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? That's obvious. It was the person we accused of being the murderer. I forgot her name. Oli or something. Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the courtroom. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Early. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? A police officer! No. Why, it must have been Olga who swapped the cards. She was trying to cover up evidence of the cheating. That does make some sense. Sorry, but there's a problem with that explanation. Huh? Swap cards were from the wrong deck. Yes, the blue card was stuck into a red hand. Mixing a card from the wrong deck when the backs are different colors. Remember that you're talking about Olga Early. She was the dealer. Do you really think she would make such a novice mistake? Actually, I have no trouble imagining even the judge making that mistake. Give it a little more thought, Apollo. Right. I don't think it's Phoenix, but I don't think it could have been someone else. Swap the cards was Mr. Right? It was you, wasn't it? And why would I do such a thing? Well, because, maybe you were trying to hide the fact you cheated? That would make sense, but swap cards in the victim's hand. Oh. Sorry. I'm a nice guy, but I'm not that nice. Come to think of it, he would lack a motive for helping his opponent to win. Who else could it have been? A police officer? The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Right, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Early either. What are you suggesting? Hardly a logistical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Oli at this point. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. If the cards were swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking of how much fun this all is. Yeah, now, tell me afterwards then, because I'm curious. Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. It's the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Mr. Oily. Then who was it? Yeah, well, that's the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that indeed after the murder. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. Someone you'd never expect. The judge? Nah, it wasn't the judge. It was me all along! Mr... I forgot what the character's name was. Justice! Meaning, injustice is the color of Clover's soul. It was Clover all along! And that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that first was swapping the wrong colored card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know. Two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was a number on the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now. You have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else that night at the scene of the crime. What? Mario landing a nat 20. I rolled a catch them. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. The trials proceeded on one central assumption, namely that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well, the trial will resume in 20 minutes. Court, defendant, lobby, number 3. Alright. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. Weren't you supposed to be talking to the judge? To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of a crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. Actually, you see, I catch the dice, but that would prevent me from rolling the dice to catch. So I have to stop the dice to roll it, meaning it's not moving, so I just have to catch Robbo. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I'd only ask you to leave the defending to your defense, in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice? Yes, sir! The judge has summoned me to his chamber, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure! That locket you wear. Is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. You can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. I know the character design. I don't know who it is. I've seen the picture before. That's it. What happened? We're taking a recess because it apparently was a fourth person. Robert hits me and you... What do you mean I spark? I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Me too, honestly. Most people are. Perhaps we'll meet her one of these days. Which case does she appear in game? I know that much probably at this point because of that line. One more question. The one who cheated that night, wasn't you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did? No, I don't. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never honest, but... It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. When I know something, there's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh. You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. Hello, unknown, welcome to the stream. You're kidding. Witness, for instance, Mrs. Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Come on, who knows that? Was that was that always on the one where we had to object? Words, habit, twitches. It's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. Joseph, you can't throw one... Okay, whatever. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will soon. Oh, almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they're throwing people at me either. The real trial begins now. Do your best. To be continued? No, I'm continuing now. I still have another hour 30 minutes of stream left. And this has been fun. Apart from people getting thrown at me. Continue on the next chapter. Yes! 20th. You have no regrets. Anyway, time to continue. Court will now reconvene as I witness Miss Olga Orley recover. Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insignificant grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well, the witness will take the stand. Time him out. He's not actually throwing people, he's just joking out about it, so it's fine. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not. Oh! Name's Olga Orley, that's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers Orley. Oh, really? This is new. Okay, then. Wanna know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like, oh, really? There, that's the truth. Hope you're satisfied. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. Like I said, I'm pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Beauchamp Bull Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that I needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really, you see. We set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards? Expose the cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast down all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, Orly? How droll. But it appeared you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree. The trap was elegant, yet what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. Yet to be a slip fee from a trap laid by Olga Quick-Fingered Orly. Just say Olga Orly, please. Actually, you don't know why you're doing. Please I don't know why you're doing it either, Joseph. I'd gladly like you to tell me. This is turning into 2 interrogations quickly, isn't it? Anyway, the witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind stick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? A lot of people, apparently. I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. You were acting cute before because of what you were doing earlier. When you're through being bad, perhaps you can testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Does Phoenix still have the card in his pocket then? That night I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand like he was supposed to. Then Smith snatched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith, it was that no-good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect! If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? Or defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? I feel like since he's not a lawyer anymore, surprised but not bad. He's acting cool. Leslie chat, alright. I want to check what you look like. Look away there. Look at the camera there. Face down. Hand behind your head again. I picked up the bottle and swung it. It was me who hit Smith. It was the good emotion. Alright. Personality but the same testimony. If you ever were you wonder, Justice. Their circumstances have changed. Yet testimony if not. That means gotta be a contradiction in there. White. Those around throwing the, I don't even know why we throw the next best thing people. Alright, let me go to this. Press? Wait. Isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing. Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Oh! This is interesting. What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yes! Miss Orley, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You... Me? Hide something? Isn't that literally what you do? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness, then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it. Honest. I saw when it hit him with my own eyes. I saw it. It went off right when you said hit him. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck was it? Well, it's more like the back of her head, but it's close enough. What is this? Just have fun. Yeah, what is going on? Whoa, what's going on? Well, okay, yeah. The sensation, it's coming into focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. Like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before.
Gotcha!
I perceive them. Miss Orley, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? Don't reveal the thing we're using to tell what she's doing. I didn't notice anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. You basically need special powers to do what Phoenix Wright does normally, plus Phoenix still has powers from 3 still. I know he has that one amulet that can do the detection thing, but I don't know anything else. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's battling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask you the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you just have evidence of this memory to show us. Her habit is scratching your neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her of most of the moment of the crime? Miss Orley, whenever you recall a crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed that happen when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe that weapon left an irresistible impression on this neck of yours. You can tell when anyone's lying. It is honestly pretty cool, and he would be great at poker because of it. But yeah, not the point. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. Yeah, we've been over this like 3 times now. It reminds us more of the moment than this bottle, the murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness, if you're the only witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. No, it was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you. What? Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. This is a cross-examination, not a wild conjecture. The witness habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice. I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. This definitely won't hold up in court, but it's a video game, so it does not matter. Testify in details about the moment of the crime. The very moment. I am knowing nothing. You can't go back to that now. Sorry. Just after you get banned for it, so you just stop. Please don't ban you. I'm not gonna ban you for it. It might be annoying some people. So I can see what they're saying. Anyway, back to the game. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now. Where does the soup go when she does that? Fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Different personality, but the same testimony. Believe you have her where you want her. Justice. The circumstances have changed. Yet her testimony has not. That means... gotta be a contradiction in there. White. And I planted the card like I was supposed to. And searched them. Playing card was gone. Chat failed. They couldn't. I'm on my sites till they got there. Looks way in the first trilogy. I don't actually know what the first trilogy art looked like. I don't remember, at least. The soup goes in. Oh, okay. No, she just puts it in her pocket dimension probably, or her bag of holding. I don't see how she could throw it to space, but sure. I think I forgot to read that. Whatever. No, go to history. You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at the table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her first testimony is... flawed? It's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. What's that? Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. I really am tempted to do the attorney badge. Also unknown, please don't tell me what to do in spoilers. I want to try figuring things out for myself. Nah, you took that picture yourself. You took this picture, and right's not in it.
Take that!
This, Your Honor, is the evidence that contradicts her testimony. Well, Mr. Payne? Who would have thought the justice could be so wrong? He's the guilty one. Me? Mr. Justice, you might want to think about your future before doing that. Okay, that's not it. You never played the game? Alright, okay, I see then. Actually, that one hurt. Different personality, yeah, same testimony. I don't think we've planted most of these, and like the only one we did was this one, and we've already pressed it. I still think this has not been used yet, and I still think it will be. What does the green bar mean? It's basically my health. If I get too many things wrong, I will essentially die and have to restart. And we all know how fun that is. Oh, I can use up and down to switch pages. That's nice. I have to. Alright, I'm just gonna start pressing everything. And how much I have left before I guilty, yeah, and lose. This planted card, which card was it exactly? The trump card, the 5 of hearts. Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make it a full house. At least that's what you're going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid it into Wright's pocket. And crime photo 1 is it? This? Well, I don't think she took this picture. Because that was taken by the police. They changed this. Alright, well, the same again? I know, I just want to see it and stuff. But before the match, well, he was eating. Wait, well, I forgot some stuff. Yeah, when was this? Well, we served Boucher and suckers. Remind me to never go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good story, a good plot must be cooked up early to allow it to thicken. I know I have to do this again. I did not mean to go do this. I don't have to do that again. I just want to see what, like, if there's anything else that can help us.
Hold it!
Seem uneasy. Start standing up here. Eyes running all over the place. Some of the way was crime. Sat at days at the table until the cops came. She didn't leave, but he was gone. But she said he didn't leave, but he's gone there. Card special, you think? What do you mean that card's special? Because we don't have the said card you're thinking about. Joseph says crime photo 1 is it. Here's the thing. She did not take this picture herself. This was taken after the police arrived. Phoenix Wright was taken to jail, and that. This was taken by the cops, so I don't think that's it. This? Oh, the cards, you mean just, alright. Because he went to... Miss Orley, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. Yeah, it is the phone. Alright. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Bull Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. It's lobster. I really want to eat that now. That lobster looks really good. Good. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Oh, cutscene. I'm surprised by this. But no problem. There's no way you could have known that immediately. Showdown time. You dirty cheat! Check his pockets, now! It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Dang! Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Wright. And he hit me! Causing memory loss! That you master of cheating, you turned out to be! The Phoenix Wright pulled a gun to protect her or something. I don't know. I'm joking. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! It must have been me who was with the bottle, and I'm imagining all of this! Because our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think of this turn of events? Mr. Gavin? Sir? I believe that as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big fat liar! What? There were in that room the night of the murder, the defendant's victim and her. She has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith, and the announcement of that argument was murder. Well, I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. Hi, Phoenix. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the paralysis. Mr. Wright? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. Ha! This theory again! Their 4th person doesn't exist! Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there is no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck! The clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said? The 4th person who swapped the cards made one crucial error. he or she wasn't concerning the color on the backs of the cards. Right. How could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game are red. Yet, there is one person here, in our court, who thought those cards to be blue. Yeah, I had that impression too. But why? Well, Apollo? Think you can figure out who... Was it Pain? It's not me, I swear! Who is this fourth person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's see what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards were being... on the final game were blue? I think it's Pain! But... now you would know... I'm going Pain! Apollo, do you seriously think that? Yeah? I think I'm seriously confused. I'm seriously sorry. That didn't go well. Well, it can't be helped. I almost missed it myself. But it doesn't do anyone any good to turn their eyes away from the truth. Does it, Kristoff? Oh! And Mr. Gavin? You don't mean... Kristoff Gavin. You were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime is black and white. I was wondering why that was! You can't tell which of the cards are blue. The ones on the floor or the table. But look! You see the colors in this photo. The blue deck was on top. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It's true the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that. A game, the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. The competition? It's a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards are back with them blue flame, you know that... Oh, that is cool. Oh, Chris, I forgot about that. Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing, excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right? You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff. You know, even I'd never take a joke this far. This is gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder. It is, but it's a video game, so sure. I assure you, I'm quite sane. What possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware that I had a connection with Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim never even met. Well, what do they have? Huh? There is a possibility after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Think this is Phoenix's revenge? Honestly, did Gavin wrong Phoenix Wright sometime earlier? Is this a truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court.
Objection!
The defense would like to request no such thing. I'm the defense. Mr. Gavin, testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happen before that game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley... Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Yes! Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Quiet so you can... You are going to be quiet so y'all can think. Sure. This is Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. Et tu, Justice. You would betray me, your teacher. I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well, the defendant. Mr. Wright will take the stand, please. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Jedi Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. That's it? Mr. Gavin! You were at the Borsable Club the night of the murder? I dined with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. Only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. And that's why he wanted us to do it as well. It appears that I was wrong. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice? Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Because it's a video game. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. The table and the photograph. Walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Trap failed and Smith hit the waitress. Looks away like that. Okay, no, that's not it. Yeah. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. Turned he was dead. I already read this, but still. I want to press this. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair. And I figured Kristoff's law officers would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Glad to hear you intend to pay. I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend, quite high. Is this the truth Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice. You know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him now. The way he says that, though. Tell me with this testimony. Truth has to be in there somewhere. It's also, I don't see any tells on Mr. Wright either. And it wouldn't make sense. He is very good at this. So we're just going to press everything. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Bowl Club quite frequently, during a usual dinner at our usual spot as usual. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Mr. Smith was sitting. So, the plates and such on the table were from your dinner. Indeed. The remnants of my meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours, and then Kristoff left. After that, Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Alright. Look down when he talks about the murder. Yeah, but he looked down twice, so I'm not sure. 5 minutes? The two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Kristoff Gavin and Shady Smith may have met. I believe I did say that. I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall. Yes, but he left and came in 5 minutes earlier. They could have talked in the main room, I guess. That does seem a little weak as pretense for a murder. But important, it might be, I don't know. Oh, it would be if that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? Hello, Hydra, welcome back. Trap fails with it, the waitress. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga early mentioned. Oh, we're getting a cutscene? My plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call them out and search Wright. He would have then pull out the planted card, the trap would snap shut. You swap the cards! Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank in its essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? Happened to put my hands in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I stuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. Then where is it? Where is this card? I literally can't see it. An empty bottle of grape juice? The murder weapon. That's where the fingerprints are from? Yeah, it is, too. We got back to that. Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. Battle was between the deceiver and would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. Card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the Pokerhead report number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please provide your testimony with this new information. Close the card in the bottle. Where? I don't see it, and that's what I'm going to object to.
Objection!
Knowledge of D&D is the magic and Noah's channel. Alright. It's a really fun game. I want to be able to do something with it on my channel sometime, but it's really hard to pull off. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle, and I don't see any card in here. No? Well, Mr. Wright, surely isn't all you have to say for yourself? Oh, he said dots. I can't say I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? That's a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped. The 7th person could have disposed of the card to fire. And the 8th person could have made the fire. And the 9th person gathered the wood. And Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you despising our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing! So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. They confiscated the cards, right? Could we count up the cards and see if one is missing? I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh, push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Joseph and I at dinners. Mr. Kristoff left. Wait, where is the... What was the card in the bottle? I want to press it.
Hold it!
Marks seem really important. It is now! Why in the bottle? I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew what was coming. You struck first. I like that. I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me. At least, when you get lucky and stick your hand in your pocket, they don't. Goldsmith's uncontrollable. Have to go to police. I don't know what else to do on. We had to call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. Returned, he was dead, blood streaming from on his forehead, pressed because I don't know what to do. When we returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. Little? He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I guess I'd be startled too. If I walked in a scene like that. Hold on, wait, no. The hat was on.
Objection!
Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He was wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining brightly, just like in this photograph. And I picked his hat off the floor and put it on his head. Why did you do a thing like that? Respect. All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Miss really didn't see it? Test the hat for fingerprints now. It being the victim's at his head? I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Here we go again. Mr. Gavin. Pardon? Looks like from the Avatar the Airbender. The blood being the arrow. I get what you're saying. But there's another bald man that some of us in chat know who likes to have a beard, even though it's not the right type of beard. Seems our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This testimony is more like a trash riddle with lies. Okay, yeah, Joseph. Could you please stop spamming, though? I guess you did stop a little bit, but just no more. Very tiny meme. I'm fine with it, like, occasionally, but if Hydro said it was getting out of hand, then I just realized it was. I also have not been paying full attention to chat this stream, because Phoenix Wright requires a lot of attention to play. Even, well, not too much attention, but still. Testimony more like it's travesty, it's riddled with lies. You can see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients. Christoph, I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled, I haven't told a single lie here. Should multitask? I'm doing my best. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. When I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. Reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night. Recall I spoke with Defense Attorney Galvin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. Well, what's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that? That gentleman who challenged you. He turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. I mean, someone cracked a flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me, please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Bone china plate? Kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but plate. You see, I get powers by playing video games, and I get the powers of those games. That's how my character works. Now, sure. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's disconcern and not indicating my forehead. I forgot about that, too. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Bourne's Bull Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china plate? Oh, that's right! Yes! That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. But when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? Oh, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this. Has it, Phoenix Wright? Order. I will have order. Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, Prosecutor, I... Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. Maybe some of you will understand humans that keep becoming... Well, we'll find out soon then. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Oh! Phoenix's daughter! What? Hello, sir. Please pick a card. Another card character. What's this all about? Is this one okay? She took the card! Excellent! I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. It's also whatever... Hold on, do I have it yet? Do I have it? No. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That is all. I do say the little... An ace. Where do I remember the card from? I do like her outfit. The little magician's outfit is cute. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. Mr. Wright's 2. It's 5 aces in all. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating. I swear to you. The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. Also, she must be at most 7 years old. Probably 6. Because, I think of how the games have been told. Is she in the court record? I'm curious. I want to see what it says. It's just a mysterious person now. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. The bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? That's what he meant when he said I think you'll meet her someday or something like that. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what all this meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? She literally said my father's life is in your hands. It's obvious that it's Phoenix Wright's daughter. That's when I made the connection. How did it take you this long to figure it out? Bloody ace added to the court record. Serious girl, could this be the 5th ace? This is epic. Alright, I want to... First order of business. I want to investigate said card. It is red. A single drop of blood marks the front of the card. That's all we have to say on it? Makes sense. Now Apollo loses his job for this. Yes, as he presents evidence to the court that was unknown. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Hello, teacher! Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Well, the witness state his name and occupation. This is far necessary, Your Honor. Believe me, far stranger things have gone into this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Quicken my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
No one can outbald the judge. I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Yes! He's on our side! Mr. Wright? What do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Hollow? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except that one time. That one time, being the instant he was hit. J-Moss was the victim. Yeah, or we could say he's the judge. But he was probably the victim. Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime. The hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, You would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin? I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. I mean, that is an attorney's job, yet I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? The rage I sensed in that man, that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appeared in the photo. That's impossible! Because that means you would have had to have passed Phoenix from the top room and he would have noticed you. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that it was not the best place for me to be that time, and so I left. That's why the call came from Wright. So, you witnessed the murder! For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify, as you did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright, you had to say that, because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh! That's right, the defendant should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Where's the window? Where's the window? Where's the window? Not bottle, I'm gonna go one over. It is open. Alright. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Alright, time to look for changes in character model. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me. Went down... Hold on. Head goes up there. And there. Your head just goes up and down. That's not much to go off of. Gonna be problems from crossing the boss. I'm fine. Who was it that taught me never to pull punches in cross-examination? It was you, Mr. Gavin. I learned from watching you. So you know who the murderer is, yeah. Me too, but the rage is that since that man tonight trouble me to return to the club. No, I wanted to press.
Hold it!
That man. You mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that. How'd you know that? Well, then you knew the true nature of your client's job. Of course, but I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends, after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. It's the judge! I see what happened then. Down to the basement, peeping through the little window, the hideout, yep. Little window? You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes, a relic of the recent ancient past. The black market used it, I believe. You cannot trust someone who's old and bald. You speak from experience. He can be the only bald man. Oh, I'm loving what's going on in chat right now, but sure. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking through that window? Who knows? Maybe even Mr. Gavin is bald and is just wearing a wig. Maybe the judge is the next target. Wouldn't it have been easier just to open the door and go into that room? I didn't want to upset Wright. You see... Upset Mr. Wright? Yes. What if my fears have been unfounded? I'd be walking on their match. Bad form, to say the least. So far, everything he says makes sense. Must have been right after the murder took place. No, I've been meaning to go that. Press.
Hold it!
How do you know it was right after the murder? Really? No need to shout justice. I was just getting to that part in my testimony. Ah, there he is. The coldest defense in the West, we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? To be fair, they are literally accusing each other of murder.
Hold it!
By photo, you mean the same photograph of the crime scene? Precisely, you see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. The other lady's almost bald. Alright, I saw his head when he was dead. And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Can you describe the scene of the crime for us? Oh, Payne is balding! But he's not quite there yet. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sense that was not the best place. Oh wait, no, I need to do this one. Those are the only three at the scene of the crime? Cannot trust the bald types. Yes, as far as to say, at least we can trust the judge, I think. And we're back where we started. The killer was a defendant. Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Objection!
There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice. I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Ah yes, this mysterious 4th person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary. Okay, show something. The card? Remember, Apollo. The card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace? Right, Well, Justice. That's why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. You point to a reason. Most Ballview, yeah. It's now or never if the defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. And go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace? Wrong, but I'm gonna hit this X button every time. My reason is, this! Is that an ace? Why, it's got blood on it! Right next to the spade! What? This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Because I just got it! Is almost Bulger gonna die? Good luck, Joseph. Could this be... Could this be the missing 5th ace? Inconceivable! How could you... What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Bushray Ball Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade, after all. No, impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think that the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if the trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo, and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on the one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Objection!
Why would he need to hide the blood, though? Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh, right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is I have answered your question. What are you talking about? You want to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene? And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see.
Objection!
Fingerprints? This is baseless conjecture. Baseless! He's twitching. Oh, Apollo said it! What's he doing? Oh no, that was Phoenix. Oh, I assure you it's quite based. What? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes. Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is cool. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found on the poker table. And before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on the victim's hand. Given this, there's one decisive problem with the scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on the card. Whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses. Whose portion doesn't fit with the bloody card? So killer, witness, second witness, victim. Killer? No, victim? Victim?
Take that!
Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You think any blood would be behind his body onto the table, not in front of him? Ah! Take a look at the photo again. If you had blood in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Why, that's right. So what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. I can turn the chairs! The chair was facing the other way. It would have to be. Show the judge its area. I already read that out. Hold on, wait, no! I want to read so the victim's chair is facing away from the table. Let me read. So to assume that time of the murder, the victim's chair is facing away from the table. So what does this change? What changes because of this? When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When they came back to the room, the body was seen as was facing as seen as in the photo. That would mean my killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. Also, sorry about the dogs barking if that is getting caught on the mic. We know the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location of this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses. You can create a contradiction of the victim. The victim is facing away. Killer.
Take that!
The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it to be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense! Why would the victim suddenly turn to face a wall? In the middle of a game! I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. Right? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here. Where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. What? But there's no room to put a mark. Where the killer should be? Don't worry, let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim from the front? Here?
Take that!
Well, I guess the killer would have to be, here? Anything to say, Mr. Justice? Sorry. A little late for that, afraid. Penalty! Come on, give me a little hint. Try not to overthink things, Apollo. What does your instinct tell you? You know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. And we know for sure, try to forget everything else.
Take that!
This? There had to be standing, well, here! Yeah, points for flair, but that's about all you get. Alright, wrong voice. I thought I was on something there, too. I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim's facing a solid cupboard. Oh, it's a cupboard, is it? He was inside the cupboard. Are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Ha! It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, and that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. Oh. I was gonna say he wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try and move the cupboard. Your Honor. What? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes. I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. What is it? Let's forge ahead while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. The killer was standing here at the time of the crime, and this cupboard wasn't here. Which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Blocking the window. Thank you. Just moves the object in the extra-dimensional space. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. How do they see him move the cupboard in his head? At the time of the murder, it had to have been shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my! What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction. In fact... Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradiction indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? The indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know about the crime.
Take that!
Second witness. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Ah! That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was. Now, the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. That was fast! Order! This is a court of law and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh, and what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. What? I knew that. I didn't say this, but I figured there'd be a secret passage. Ah, yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks of the room many of our regulators know about. Yeah, that told me there was likely a secret passage. I didn't say anything because I didn't think it would be important. It was important. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentions it. The secret passage is a handy thing when you're engaged in illegal going-ons. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So if the room has a secret passage, where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of Versailles, no doubt. Just like our killer. Oh, and the cupboard would also block off the window, preventing the cops from seeing in. Oh, that's actually kind of cool then. You see where a line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin, come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. I'm still confused how the bottle has no blood on it, though. Well, why did you do that? Wait here. I'll get help. Mr. O'Gurley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. And then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. I do want to check one thing as well. Yeah, you can see the cupboard in the background. And here as well. I thought there was a little more space there, but oh well. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. Caught red-handed, unlike the cards you saw there, buddy. Well, it seems the trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. I want to know his motive. What is his motive? Mr. Gavin. Mr. Payne. Yeah? Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he's hereby cleared of all suspicion. Yeah! Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest. Immediately.
Objection!
It was Gavin. Oh no, right? No, yeah, it was Gavin. Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Alright, see you later, Joseph. Hope you're able to enjoy, and I'll see you later. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked. That person of your caliber will be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly a time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use of legal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Legal evidence?
Objection!
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason, at present, to suspect me of wrongdoings? Of course. This bottle, for instance. Bottle of grape juice? Mr. Wright was drinking? Once again, sure, grape juice. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? The cards put in. And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes. Fingerprints on the bottle were, upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor, see how they caught fish squirms for the last. Well, Apollo? Yes! Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down, other than to... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say your answer in plain words? It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Gavin said the court in this case demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down? The picture!
Take that!
It's this, isn't it? It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me, on the floor? Yes, now reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair. That! See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down! Look at this photograph taken of on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here. Hold on, did he drink an entire bottle of grape juice? The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottle upside down several times. Wow, I can't believe that it was that simple. Recall our dinner that evening, Kristoff. I was drinking my usual juice, then too. Basically, used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. You switched the bottles. Took one of Mr. Wright's bottles. Made it look like the murder weapon. That explains why there's no blood on it. Oh, it all comes together. Order, order, order. What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claimed I switched the bottle. Where's your proof? Proof? Well, that's as I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle proof is quite empty.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure about that. So you told me it was good? What was good? The grape juice? Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I required an additional investigation? We're gonna see what it is. We're gonna see what it is. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottle from under the piano at the bowl club. And here, one of the bottles in question. What are you gonna dust off? Dust that for fingerprints too? The game? Oh yeah. It is good. Also, I was looking at your icon and it was similar enough to Hydro. I got them mixed up. Sorry about that. I'd be surprised if any were on this, but Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake. True. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright. That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? It has blood on it. That's some bottle. The card! It's the same model. There's something inside the bottle. Do we get to take the cork off? Oh, it's a screw-on. Alright. What's this? That card! It can't be! Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Orley? Yes, our little swindling Devatuka, I think is how you pronounce that. That night I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. Trap failed. Wait, isn't this... You told me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. Had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I'd been drinking that night beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The Five of Hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the fourth person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin! His classic point pose, yes. Oh, he's going insane now, because that's what they all do. Yep! No! He's literally causing that to rise! They never clean that up? That is all. Mr. Gavin, where did you learn telekinesis to make those things float? Is your idea revenge, Phoenix, right? Revenge? Yeah, Hydra mentioned that earlier. Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic. Straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point to the finger of justice at the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we can have this little tally, right? This is insane! What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? You don't. Yes, the pain of being Pain. I believe it's time we finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, I also wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shaddai Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler in our profession, to be sure, and that is all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good, Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated. This courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty. Also, hey, Payne, if you want to actually accuse someone of being guilty, just take the case that I'm sure will happen from the arrest that was just made. I've already, Mr. Gavin's case, because I'm sure they're going to have one. Court is adjourned. April 20th, 4:28 p.m. District Court, Distant Lobby number 3. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Cav, the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability? Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. And now Phoenix becomes the partner of this game, you think? We'll find out soon. Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? Well, what was that, Mr. Wright? You have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer? Right. Today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Oh wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Your daughter, right? That's right, she's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. I took this off his neck the night he died. but it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. The truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury! You testified, you said that locket was yours! I said no such thing. He never did say that. Huh? I really said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. It's not a distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then, why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. Hey, Phoenix Wright, do you still have that attorney thing? She won't be on trial at all? Like Phoenix, yet definitely not in the final chapter of this game. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo. Yes? How about coming to work for me? That? You mean at the Wright & Co. law offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. Can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. And I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. Yes, tell me about it, please. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. Phoenix Wright. Tell me, please. Tell me, I want to know. The case reached its sad conclusion and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. Alright, this is the forged evidence. The card. I keep hitting the wrong button!
Take that!
Why do we shout? You mean this? Don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud! A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think that the only person who could claim it was fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. My verdict was already handled down 7 years ago. Then, you really... Hello, Hydra, welcome back. We just found out Phoenix committed fraud. Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? I punched him. Oh! It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Phoenix Wright just dies from that punch or something. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office address, drop in. If you like. Like, Phoenix just, like, we punch him once, Phoenix just goes, it's your turn now, Apollo, and he dies, and then we're arrested, and, whatever sentence that in Japan, and now it's not our turn anymore. Mr. Wright. Oh, how about your uppercut? Try yelling, take that next time! I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. He did an uppercut. I was expecting a punch from the side. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I found out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law. And this is how my story begins. End. Right. I'm ending this episode off here. Next time, the card's the real reason. Yeah, next time, wait, whatever. But, hold on. Do we get to see Phoenix's daughter grown up in one of the later chapters from that image? Hold on. That doesn't matter. Next time, I don't know. I'm gonna continue the story. Until then, I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you later. Bye!